Today I'll show you the ultimate Soviet Union, allowing you to win the Spanish Civil War for the Spanish puppet and the Second World War with only 300,000 casualties and no cheese, while inflicting millions on the Axis. This guide is focused on single player, but with some adjustments that I mention as we go along, you can also use it in multiplayer. As always, you can watch the unedited video on my VOD channel. This version, the links to the research and focus order, as well as all the presets are in the description. It's been a while, a lot has changed for them. I have glasses now. I sure hope you don't kill me because of that. We're gonna set up all of our ships, all of our dainty little boats as patrolling ships around our ports. That way we get a little bit more stability once we have the coastal boat protection. What is it called? Anyway, we're just gonna patrol the seas and get like 2% stability from that. Put the Mountaineers on low. We're gonna disable equipment on the Mountaineers for now. As for research, we want construction and electronic engineering. Because the Soviet Union only has 2 research slots, we're not gonna do anything with our free research. We only have 2 research slots. We're gonna start off with heavy industry, get 2 more civilian factories, Moscow, Kharkov, Stalingrad, and Stalino. Build civilian factories in those 4 states that we're bumped up, as many as we can manage. The ships, you could keep them. They are dog shit. It doesn't really matter. They are screens, like, sure, you can complete them, but also we are the Soviet Union. If we have to bust out the Russian Navy, I don't think I can help you or you anymore. The important with the train, we're gonna use the tank refurbishment plant. That is our production setup. You should switch the production MIO of the light tank to OCMO as well. I realize this in the middle of the game, which is just a minor inefficiency. With the planes, we are just gonna dismiss all so that we have 2 air wings. Left click train them, not until level 3, we're gonna train them forever and ever. For the MAOs, we are interested in OCMO. Our infantry tank designers are just insanely busted. And I have prepared something for you guys, which is this one, the setup. We are also interested in the tank refurbishment plant. And we have this little setup here. Our only air designer that we really care about is the light aircraft designer. By the time that we get these upgrades, the air war is already over. Our little artillery setup, the truck setup, infantry, which is actually this. This is the only one where we assign 6 in the beginning, because with Tula, we have these little buffs. We want these as soon as we can assign them, and we can assign them once we get the tank merging plant thing, which we do very late in the game, relatively speaking. So we just want to bank these 3 points. For everyone else, we assign 5, and then once we get the little pop-up here, which doesn't really work right now because we will have a pop-up because we have assignable traits here. But once we get the little pop-up here that we can assign another trait, you know, okay, we can assign a policy. And usually we just pick the assembly line optimizers, except for with the tanks, where we will pick the cutting corners, because 10% production cost is very nice. Because most people will be interested in the single player side of things, I will use this as a single player guide, and then I will mention things like, okay, in multiplayer, you would research anti-tank now, you would research the heavy tank chassis, and of course, you would also not give a single shit about air, because you would have an air controller. You only have like 300 factories against Germany's 600 factories at the start of the war, so you're not gonna be able to do anything against the Axis. Your only job as the Soviet Union against the Axis in multiplayer is just to hold out as long as you can until somebody, I'm not naming names, somebody wakes up. We are also immediately going to form the NKVD, even though we already have a head of NKVD. I guess this whole paranoia thing now makes sense. Agency upgrades I'm gonna get into in a second, once we can see them. One thing we're also interested in is we're gonna spam train some horses. And with some, I mean honestly just click this button. I think we need like 80, but just for good measure. We're also gonna select all of our tanks. We're gonna stack them up in Moscow. We're gonna press B so that a railroad. We might as well shift left click train the army. Then there is one more thing I wanna check with the occupation. We're gonna get the cavalry and the secret police. After 30 days, on the 30th of January, I suddenly realized that we do have a third research slot. I'm gonna select engineering, put it on machine tools, and then we're gonna get engineering, and we get engineering 30 days earlier. With the agencies, we could get it now. I'm not gonna get it now. I just want my spy. The next couple of focuses follow the standard path of going down to the Stalin Constitution. At around this time, you can also switch construction away into mechanical computing and we're gonna get the construction 1. One thing I'm also gonna get is improved workers, because we need to get rid of our stability malus. Being below 50% stability is twice as painful as being above 50% stability is beneficial. One thing you can do at this point, there we go, that is more than I will ever interact with Navy for the rest of this game. I could also get the doctrines, but I'm gonna do that if I get bored. Next thing, we're gonna get the Senior Viet, and then we're gonna get Concentrated Industry. Once again, the third research slot does not do anything, and don't worry, we'll not continue research boosting for the rest of the game. It's just very useful early on. Upgrades that we want are the Epstein pills, we want Invisible Ink, Commando Training is neat, then we're gonna pick up Army Department and Air Force Department. Not now, but we're gonna get these eventually. If you are playing multiplayer, passive defense is also very important. I don't care about the two spies that Germany sends, because frankly, what are they gonna do? Once the Spanish Civil War kicks off, I will deploy the horses. That is enough to get a joint command structure, and then we're not gonna get the joint research practices, but instead I am interested in getting the Spy Master. With the Spanish Civil War, one tip I can give you is break through Salamanca. Usually I go for these 3 tiles, or I guess those 4 tiles. They are very easy to break because there's just 1-2 divisions here, and then all of these are encircled. And usually you can also send your tank down here to Barbarossa, and then if you can get a breakthrough here, you can get another pocket. Winning the Spanish Civil War is kind of useful, but not really. If you win the Spanish Civil War for the Republicans, then you get them as a puppet, but you only get them as a puppet for like 2 years, because then they demand independence, and you could defeat them or you could try and fight them, but it happens around the same time as Barbarossa happens, so I usually just let them go. For the purposes of this video, I am just gonna use Spain as a meat grinder to get army XP and mastery. If your tanks are veterans, that's honestly the one thing that you would want. If you win the Spanish Civil War, that's better. With that out of the way, once the Spanish Civil War kicks off and you finish the faction goal, we can do a couple of neat things. Number one, we're going to consolidate the tanks so that we have 6 specialized tanks. You're going to separate the tanks from the chaff. Send tank air volunteer, improve relations. I'm gonna turn the NKVD and the horse divisions and the motorized divisions and those horses into lasagna. One thing you can also do at this point, and one thing I will actually do at this point, is auto accept purchase requests, and we're gonna put a couple of things on the market. Trucks, let's put like 100 of those on there. Guns, like 3,000 and 2,000, just so we have stockpiles. The tanks I will keep myself. The planes you can put on high. Something like that is fine. We're gonna sell a little bit to the Spanish. Our spy we can send to Estonia already. While our volunteers are traveling, we can also send our planes. And then we shall address internal affairs. Once we have our 30 days, mechanical computing switches over to radio, and we get mechanical computing again. Our 6 tanks have one of 2 options now. First of all, I am gonna pick Zhukov. I am gonna get the attaché. I'm gonna stop improving relations. We're gonna get Tukhachevsky. Tchaikovsky will die, but right now I am interested in the stats, so we're gonna use that one. And honestly, I am just gonna let these 2 use Northwest Iberia. Did I send my spy? I did not. Zhukov. I'll mention it in a second. I forgot about research here. Switch engineering into radio and your free slot into engineering. Expand the Agitprop. This does rely on the Republicans not screwing you over completely. If they abandon the front, then there is nothing you can do. There were a lot of runs where I encircled all of these guys up here, and then one single division managed to make a breakthrough here to, you know, link up with the other nationalists, and the entire front collapsed, and I forgot about research from all of the yapping. It's a bit of a bummer. Not a huge deal. I'm just gonna be a little bit worse off than the guys who can watch the edited video. We are gonna get the war economy. Instead of war economy, what you can do is you can click those little paranoia decisions. I will not. This does mean that this run is partially RNG dependent. If you do not want to deal with this RNG, then I advise you to just forge some documents for Stalin, or tell him to take a look at the Navy. The worst ones that can happen is the disloyalty in the NKVD early on. Like, if that happens early, honestly, just restart the game, because that is super punishing. The advisors is also pretty bad, because you got year-long PP malice, among other things. Apart from that, everything else is fine, honestly. As I said, if you do not like RNG, then I advise you to just click this button. You're gonna be a little bit weaker, because you have to spend the 20 PP on it, and also the 5% consumer goods. issues, but I'm a man. We do not talk about our issues, we just swallow them up. Once we get our 5th army XP point, we can do something funny. But first, we shall get Komosomol. Then we shall accomplish a high yield. I'm gonna leave 1 tank in the back, just to not get encircled. We're gonna send a couple of tanks here. We're gonna send 1 tank here. I'm just gonna take these 2 tiles, but I will leave the Republicans up to the rest. We're gonna send this tank down here and these guys up here. And we can now create one of our most important assets of the Red Army, which is Steve. And I like Steve so much that I want 71 of them. One thing I forgot to do is I should have removed the declaring country is considered a major, and I also forgot about finishing up the commander training. That's actually a little bit bad because we could have had a couple of nice things already. Next thing on the list is the Comintern. As funny as it is to shoot Chiang Kai-shek, he is still needed. With the tanks, as I mentioned, ideally you can break through this tile. And I'm gonna get these 2 tanks on this side. Ooh, wait a minute, that's huge. He's leaving. Okay. Construction. We are gonna break the chains of slavery via knowledge. Now we just need to make sure that they don't unencircle each other. It's also another tip for the Spanish Civil War. Ideally, you check where the state modifier is gone, where you have planned offensives, and then you attack and encircle there. We're also gonna get the army department. And now that we have our Comintern goal, we send mill advisors to Spain and pick the Mountaineer Corps. And then we enable all the equipment on the Mountaineers again. We're gonna become Spy Master and get the Elusive Gentleman. That way we get another faction point and we can do joint research practices. You can get the industrial expansion, and at this point, I'm also going to create a theater, and we can just use Yegorov. That's fine. We're going to select Max and send them to Iberia. We can decrypt Germany in the meantime, and then we're going to get the Captain of Industry as well. Anti-saboteur campaign for the Navy is perfect. Honestly, give it to me as a permanent malice and I'd still take it. Next thing is concentrated on the list. And then the Trotsky Center. We're gonna get another spy and we're gonna send that one to Latvia. Construction, you're just gonna continue what you've been doing. After that one will be Kursk. We're gonna build some roads in Kursk as well. If you care about it, you can already get the collaboration government on Estonia prepared. I'm just gonna do it now so I don't forget about it. Does mean we are technically a little bit weaker because we don't need it yet. This is not the ultimate Soviet Union. This is almost the ultimate Soviet Union. The almost ultimate Soviet Union. The North is just something that you do not touch. We first want to deal with the southern pocket. And then a workers' dictatorship. 2, actually. We should already research tools. I actually did fuck up a little bit with the research that I slept on earlier. Tanks have made another breakthrough. I'm just gonna see if we can make it to Sevilla. As always, ensure that your tanks do not get encircled with the building slots that I use. In multiplayer, building this close to the front is a little bit dangerous because you will be pushed back. You can position your whole industry a little bit in the back. You're gonna be a little bit weaker, but I am sure that the Germans are not gonna push me to Kursk, even if I go AFK. Because it's the AI. Don't think we can promote Rokossovsky, can we? Yeah, we would have to settle for someone else. You know what? I'm gonna give you organization first. You're gonna be killed anyway, so I might as well get the little bonus from organization first. We get the Spanish gold, then we shall get the popular figurehead. Next one is the infrastructure effort. They removed the offensive, which means we can push into Sevilla. And Extremadura. I'm just gonna dump tanks as defenses here. And then I'm gonna push in here. This tank cuts off the Malaga unit. We take the port and that's it. Next thing on the block is the 5-year plan. For multiplayer at this point, I would recommend you grab some signal companies. I'm not gonna get them. You don't need them for single player, but for multiplayer you definitely need them. So instead I will grab some gun tech. Next you'll grab Timoshenko. After that we subscribe to the VG Plays YouTube channel. That's what I mean. That's one breakthrough and I'm actually gonna get 2 tanks up here because that could be very dangerous. Next thing, we're gonna get the field hospitals and once again spam more factories. Well, I do not know who Kliment Voroshilov is, but I do know you're gonna get shot anyway, so sure. Sorry, lad. Of course, we're gonna get the Spanish gold reserves. We're gonna get the military conspiracy. Collab government, we're gonna send you two lads. Then I'm gonna prepare the Latvian collab government. We're gonna get Zhukov, we're gonna give him the Panzer expert badge. Then we shall get bayonet strength, and that's also not on my list, but I'm gonna get bold attack already. Next thing, we're gonna get logistics companies. I did say Steve would be the backbone of my army, but I was kind of lying. Fuck. That's why I didn't get bold attack. I need 10 army XP for this. Oh well, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Now we get foreign experts, and then we're gonna get another knowledge and high yield. And now we shall replace Steve with Stove. But very important, we're gonna disable all equipment. This has no real there's no real reason behind this. Honestly, do not need to worry about anything. Then I also want Steve's, and those lads are also not gonna get equipment because we're the Soviet Union. We cannot afford giving equipment to our men. I am gonna deploy Steve. You convert them into Stove and then into Steve's. I don't think it matters. I'm just gonna spread them out a little bit because they are gonna be very, very angry by being so many men and having just 100 guns to share with them, between them. We're just gonna tell them to train until I tell them to stop. And then we don't need to produce any more Steves. Next on the list is Zaporozhye. Then we're gonna do some Eastern development. Give me some artillery and I'm happy. And then tank armor. Next thing on the chopping block is the armored forces expanded. I want. Then I will also get cryptology. This gives us another guy. And then we shall also do the collaboration government on Latvia. Ideally, we get a 45% roll. If we get a 30% roll, that's also fine. Chernigov. And then after that is Krasnodar. Then we're gonna develop the Urals. We are winning the war, but somehow the Republicans are still just very much finding a liking to the local rocks. That's a bummer. I am gonna take it. That does mean I am much weaker than you would be. The 10% construction speed is huge because we're still in the building up phase. The 10% PP gain is disgusting. We're also gonna get Gosporyek. We're gonna get the construction company. Couldn't even say the English one. Construction. Then we can get Krasnodar and Ufa. Next on the list is the computing machine. I don't have anything better to do, so I'm gonna pretend I know what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna click some random things because honestly, we are not gonna worry about ships at all. USSR Academy of Sciences. We're not gonna spam all in Ufa. Something like that is fine. We're gonna get the block of rights and lefts. We're gonna improve some relations with America. And then we're gonna get gun tech. Let's see if I can save this one. We're gonna get another gun tech. All I really need to do is get one breakthrough, and then we have a bunch of volunteers out. There we go. That is huge. Yep, I think that just straight up stabilized the front, if not pushed it into our favor. This one single push that I did. We lost a tank at some point. At this point, we can stop producing civ factories. So you have between 100, 110. And then we want one land warfare facility. We're gonna build it in Moscow, because then I can ensure I don't get supply issues. Then we're gonna spam mill factories in, for now, the states that have 100% infrastructure. I'm just gonna grind this guy to veteran status as well. At this point, winning the war is fairly easy. Like, you just get another encirclement. One thing they like to do is push into Valencia and then go like to Murcia. And if you just cut them off, you get another decent encirclement here. One thing we're also gonna do is we're gonna switch to superior firepower. Then I'm gonna get the American experts a little bit later on that one, if I'm being honest. But alas, I'm a dum-dum. There you go. We lost bayonet strength and we got the army XP from volunteers. So I guess we might as well use it. We can also and should also fire the NKVD guy. I would recommend you to win the war, just so you get a couple more factories. Next on the list is range improvements. And then we're also gonna get the medium tank, as well as concentrated industry. And a cat hair from my mouth. Integral to this game. Next thing, the machine tools. So at this point, we have to count. We want to get 10 states south, yes, this direction, south of the Urals, with at least 3 mill factories. It's gonna be a little bit less efficient, but it's gonna be worth it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. You don't have to do it yet, but it's just nice to keep it in the back of your mind. This is also specialized in civilian industry and send an ultimatum to Estonia. You would usually have far more PP than the 5-year plan. Yeah, like usually you can afford your scientists at this point. If you did get 45% collab government, what you can do is you can put them on civ oversight already. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna suppress them a little bit. Not hugely important. 10 on support, 10 on AA, 10 on light tank, 2 more on the truck. We're gonna import rubber. I am just gonna put my tanks back here. Once again, ideally you win Spain. I'm just gonna simulate that you lost Spain because, you know, it does change a couple of small things about the game. I am gonna wait a second. You should get the organized PC of heavy industry, but I really want my scientists, so it sucks. It sucks. The PP is honestly really bad, but we need the scientist. Get the medium tank. Put that one on gun. Use that one for the medium tank. One thing that will happen, I think in the middle of 1939, is you're gonna get spirit from Spain that you can send more volunteers. That means they have done expand Soviet aid. At that point, you can just win the civil war and you're gonna get the puppet afterwards. I want a whole 25 on guns, 4 on artillery, 15 on support equipment, 15 on AA. This does give us a lot of command power back, which I will immediately invest because we are gonna need field marshals. I'm not even gonna really look at who I promote. Now we can do construction. Next thing, we're gonna do the PCDI. You can just click those ultimatum decisions as soon as you can. You could, if you care about it, also remove the faction leader only. That way you get more PP. Then I'm gonna do PC of mechanical engineering. We're gonna get Latvia. Next is the howitzer. We're gonna get that one. For the states that you have, you can check the development of Tankograd focus at any point to check how many you have. You want at least 6. And as I said, everything to the south of the Urals, including like Ufa, Orenburg, Perm, they are all in it. And we can assign individual excellence at this point. And because we did the freaky converts with Steves, we get 13.6 mastery without spending a dime. Heavy MG next, another 5 on support equipment. So let's go for 35 infantry for now. Survivability studies is next. And then we're gonna strengthen the mobilization plan. I am gonna pick the overwhelming firepower at this point, since we do not have volunteers anymore. And next thing on the shopping block is AA. And I'm gonna send the Lithuanian demands. What you can do if you want to, you can get a couple more civ factories, so you complete the industrial expansion and then you get an industry bonus. Not super important, but can be kind of useful. And then you can also get the military industry, which you will definitely get, and the air superiority, which we'll also get later. Next thing, the military engineering university. Around this time, you should have the spirit here. If you do have it, you can finish the Spanish Civil War. Then I'm gonna get concentrated 4 and the assembly line production. Sure, might as well import a little bit of coal. Then we're gonna do means to wage war. Check again, Tankograd. I need 2 more states, which are Altakrai and Magnitogorsk. Those 2 should do the trick. We are gonna start creating the self-propelled artillery. This one has high reliability, so it's beginner friendly. We're gonna convert that later into something better. In order to create the artillery, you have to click this button. For single player, you don't need it. But, you know, we wanna have a little bit of fun. I wanna showcase something, give you a little bit of a better understanding of the entire game. Did I say that we're putting 20 on the self-propelled artillery? I'm not sure I did. Let's also put 1 on civ train. Small airframe it is. And start working on the flame tank. Might as well get the non-aggression pact with Turkey. It doesn't fucking matter. Turkey is not gonna do anything until I join the Allies in 1946. Around this time, you should have enough PP for the conscription. And there we go. We have 9. Altai Krai. And do we have 10? Yes, there we go. We get our 10 mill factories for free. And it's still not enough to contest Germany. And in the meantime, what you can do, get a couple more field marshals. Even if you're not going to use them as field marshals, still beneficial. Because then you can assign 1 more trait on them. Okay, then give me the better engines, get limited conscription, and then we should also create the light tank convert. All of these things are in the description, the focus order, the research order, and the tank templates. Put 15 on these. I am gonna make something a bit unusual. There we go. I'm gonna make some CAS already, and we can put 10 on chaos. Put it above the self-propelled artillery. And then we can get battlefield support. Then we can get the Leningrad Polysexual Institute. And now the energy consumption will start to kick in, which is also something you can do. Build up here, you know, build in the dam provinces to save yourself a little bit of coal. I'm actually gonna do it. Should have done it earlier. I'm gonna get another 86. We're not gonna use them for long, but we get a little bit more army XP, a little bit more mastery. 45 on guns. Next, I'll grab the AA tech. If you have the PP for it, if you have 250 or something PP, you can get the air reformer now. Then we do the focus to merchant tank and material plants. If you have the point, you can also add your facility. In order to do this, you can deploy a couple more units, so you get the faction initiative point from the expanded Red Armies. Also, we can get Grand Assault. And then I'm gonna get Cohesion first. Just constantly keep on importing. We are very hungry right now. We are a hungry Soviet Union. Then let's get the Architect. Okay, we have Steve. I'm gonna deploy Steve. And we're gonna do the same freaky thing again. Stove and Steve's. Add them. If you want to, you can put a couple more factories on special super propelled artillery, but there we go. I'm just gonna wait for the small airframe, and things are gonna get expensive now. Now we want the fighter convert, and I'm gonna put 60 factories on this one and go down to 15 self-propelled artillery. If you're playing multiplayer, honestly, everything I put on planes, you can just dunk on tanks and tank destroyers, but I do not have an air controller this game. Mongolia is not gonna step up to the game, so I'm gonna have to start with, like, usually you can get like 60 tank divisions out, plus the infantry that I'm gonna bring out by the start of the war, with 80 factories on planes. That's 70 factories that you're missing somewhere else. And at that point, we can get field hospitals. Rehabilitated military. Okay, we have expanded the Red Armies. Realistically, none of these matters. You're gonna get the civilian industry if you push into Germany. You're gonna get strategic resources at some point. So I guess strategic resources, these long-term goals do not matter at all anymore for what your game plan is. I usually add my facility now. You can also remove the faction leader only thing, so you get more PP, but also at this point, does it really matter? It's 1940. Logistics company. Put Estonia and Latvia on civilian oversight, and just keep on importing. The planes do not build themselves. We have the flame tank. I am gonna make 15 of those beauties. We're just gonna use that for now. It's a very early flame convert, and put 15 on those. Then we can also get the assembly line optimizers and finish up the gun MIO. Then let's get the engineer company and get gun tech. At this point, I am gonna go down to limited exports, just so we get factories back. This will be our bread and butter holding division. We're gonna get the other architect, and then we shall do military reorganization. Then let's just start spamming as many of them as we are allowed to by John Paradox. 276 sounds perfectly reasonable to me. Then let's get gun tech, and then I'm gonna get the coal tech. That's not super important, but I'm gonna get it anyway. Then let's get the advanced flamethrower. I'm gonna use the carrier airframe as a base. It is suboptimal, you know, that this is 3.5 IC more expensive, but that way the cast does not get converted once we create the good fighter. It's a bit of a bummer that we have to do it this way, but that's just Paradox. That also messed me up. I forgot about focus, because I should have picked industrial modernization. It's just a couple of days that we lose here as well. And we got industrial expansion. Next thing is the air superiority. Then I'm gonna get extensive conscription. I want those 38 width, but that's fine. Mental note. Next thing, we're gonna train these until level 3. With those tanks, you can convert these if you have, once you have enough stockpiles, instead of making these your tanks, and then you should be fine. It is more expensive for army XP, but you should be able to retain all of the unit XP. Then we're gonna get the steel casting industry, and it is October. I am just gonna say, alright, Steve's, you've done a good job. I do need your 3.2 million manpower in a couple of more competent divisions. And I mean a couple. Then we're gonna get concentrated. We're gonna get the radio free. And then we're gonna get a motorized as well. Assembly line optimizers for you as well. Keep on importing. And while we're talking about keep on keeping on. Your generals need to be turned into field marshals, even if they've not done anything yet. One thing that in multiplayer somebody else should also do for you is fix your supply. Once again, I do not have somebody, so usually these two are the problem children, Lvov and Bialystok. So we're just gonna bump the railroads up there. Next we get AA tech. For the special projects, you can now either go for the MEVs, which are required for multiplayer, or you can get the howitzers, which are a little bit better for single player. Either one is fine for single player, but I don't think I'm gonna get either of them. And then might as well pick up the construction tech. We are just going to make a small adjustment. In the light tank, we're gonna add the advanced flamethrower. I'm gonna add a dozer blade. We're gonna add one dozer blade and the advanced flamethrower for the flame tank as well. And then you can click this tiny little button to just convert and get massive efficiency. Get the good fighter. Put like 20 on this. We can go to 5 on the light tank, 5 on the arty, go 5 more on the support equipment, put 15 on the self-propelled arty again. Train these to level 3, the Cas and the fighters. I guess technically positive heroism. I don't think I have the PP for it. A bit early, but I'm gonna deploy those men, for I need men. Then sure, we can achieve production quotas. And now for the fun part of this game. Did I say fun? I meant I'm gonna shoot my brains out. So, little trick. When you have this many men to organize, split them into 5 stacks of one guy, get them all under the same field marshal, click this little button, right click him, organized. Okay, we have our 3 field marshals, and then we need a couple of port garrisons. What you should be doing, oh actually we don't have that many ports to guard. There we go. I don't think I've ever seen Germany invade over here. Italy likes this island, but that's it. So 2 on those should be fine. They're just there to delay a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Set up reinforcements and upgrades here. And then give me you on low prio, and just gonna use this one. Not optimal, but I care more about the army XP right now. Make the Mountaineers 38 width. Get as many of these out as you can. Usually what you should be doing is getting the medium the tank destroyer company, but I'd have to design it, and I do not care about the German tank machine, so I shall ignore it. You would want something like this. Goodbye XP, and then just get like another 5 out. There we go, that's 5. I want one army just focused on the German front. One army group, I mean. And then we're gonna do this army group here. Same with this army group. We're not going to defend this little pocket here because the supply is very shit in the Stanislav pocket. So we're just going to let the Germans take that one. One of you guys can just go to the Finnish front. Apart from that, I'm going to send the Mountaineers on the Finnish front. And now it's time to organize the entire front line. Before I do that, give me a spy on Germany. There we go. That is one spy on Germany. Konev, you sound perfect for the job. Give me you. And you just go over here. Couldn't have done it better myself. Because we have so many generals, I am just gonna pick whoever is here. I don't care too much about the specifics of their status. Just look that you don't invite any cows into your midst. And like the politically connected and old guard. Those are relatively bad because less XP gain. But also for your infantry, for one of your 20 infantry generals, it's kind of fine. Railroad them to the front line, train them all. The tanks, I'm just gonna keep in Minsk, bump the railroads up. Definitely didn't forget about that one. And research at this point, it doesn't matter too much anymore. I'm just gonna go with excavation, I guess. Then let's get the tank genius. And we are gonna get PC offer mortar armament. And also get a couple more of those non-steves, just as port garrisons. Why are there 60 units in Odessa? Doesn't seem right. Did I split up the... Oh, I see. Okay. Layer 8. The worst layer of hell. Customer support. Oh no! Keep on getting your planes out. Your fighters. Make sure they're all trained up. You have until around June. And then you should be ready. You need to be ready at that point. Your spies at this point, they can also infiltrate the German army. I'm gonna send the German, and the German. And then we can also get the experts in camo. And very nice. We did get a radio free now. There we go. That's our flame tank. Then the light tank and the self-propelled artillery. Convert all of them except for the flame tanks because they will just eat up your self-propelled artillery. We don't have that many flame tanks to supply everyone, but your units still get the benefits even if you don't have the flame tanks. I did go a little bit too heavy in the armored recon. Don't really need the 8,000 that we have in stockpile. Bit of a last minute change on my end. I guess, there we go. Let's make 25 flame tanks. We should have won the air war by now. Around 2,000 fighters. All of these are trained. We have a couple of DS lads that... Where are you? Okay, those are the finished ones. Sure. They're not getting supply. That's fine. We have a couple... We're missing a little bit of training here. I am gonna stop training now. Ideally, they should have been finished, but that's fine. Okay, let's first put up our planes. There we go. Fighters defend here. We're gonna send the CAS in close to the front line. The Finns are shredding our mock army up here. One thing you can do is you can justify on Finland, or I mean also on Turkey. If you do Turkey, you get Romania and Turkey. But if you do Finland, you don't have to deal with the Finnish continuation, the Second Winter War. I do not know what the Finns are speaking of when they say the Second Winter War, considering there has not been a first one. But I am also Stalin. The Mountaineers, they are just here to push quickly. Right, at this point, we can also reorg the front line. And then we shall do desperate measures. Not that there's anything desperate about our current situation apart from this one red bubble. It's gone. Okay, we can also do ground crews down here. I forgot about air power protection. That would have been super useful. There we go. Now it makes more sense to send our planes this weirdly. The Germans have taken a second tile. We could do the Finnish concessions. I am gonna delay this a little bit. Two options. You can get all of Finland or you can get the other event. The other event gives us a little bit more army and air XP, which I care about more right now. We're also going to get aircrew service for more mastery gain. And yeah, this tile will just fall. Like, look at this. These are just constantly in battle. They do not have a second of time to get orc again. Okay, the Armistice of Moscow. Those 24 units. Front line, please. And then we're also gonna dump the Mountaineers on the front line. The Germans, they should have around 3,000 planes. Yeah, 2.3k fighters. I'm gonna let them take a little bit of land. Some of these tiles are easy to defend. Like this tile, I'm not gonna try and defend that one. We're gonna get the air reformer now. And could have gotten the army recruitment guide. That would have been kind of useful. I am gonna get offensive doctrine on you, infantry specialist, or an army offense specialist. Oh, army offense, let's go. Then let's get self-propelled support. I'm gonna stop training Zhukov. And we're gonna deal with this little German pocket that's forming. If you push like into Königsberg, that should be fine. Then for the theaters, we don't need the Finnish theater anymore. We can go... There we go. We could get the adaptable army, but I am just gonna get the Middle East diplomacy already, I think. Focus tree is kind of done now. Like, there's not really anything super... Yeah, that also explains why our planes are just so poorly performing. With those 35 to 13, I still have the minus 15% air mission efficiency. And then we shall just click with our self-propelled artillery. And I genuinely mean we will just click. Focuses genuinely do not matter anymore at this point. You've done most of the interesting stuff. Like, you can still get, you can still kill Trotsky, but doesn't matter really. Since we started using the tanks and I have the CP for it, you could deploy Zhukov already on the front line, but I opted against it because I forgot. It's a little bit dangerous because supply is ass over here. But if we can get Königsberg, I would be a very, very happy donut. Look at that, we have taken out the Luftwaffe. Quick report, 1.4 million Germans for 120k Russians. I'm gonna see if I'm lucky here. And if I can just get Rommel himself. I want Rommel, I want Rommel, I want Rommel, I want Rommel. Stay here, you donut! Ah, fuck off! Alright, I'm gonna encircle someone then. Jeez. Yay! We got... How did I get Rommel? Where was he? Very small and honestly, that's not even an encirclement for my tastes. But I was in it for Rommel and I got an encirclement, so I guess I'll take it. And no, we don't have supply. Okay, I'm gonna get the tanks over here then. Grrr! Paradox wanting me to interact with their game. Yippee! We got the encirclement in Königsberg. Not that this is any commendable size or anything. I got us like 40 divisions. That is a little fest that you guys are having down there. Surely you wouldn't mind if somebody took a look at that. Just clicked the arrow button because I didn't want to bother with pushing down there. We did lose the 3 generals that I wanted, that I did the push for, but we did get a small little encirclement. Just about 80 divisions. Nothing worth mentioning. I think I'm fine with just dropping pop off here. And next thing, we're gonna elevate the Mountaineers. Is there anything? Do I get branch specialization? Branch spec? In the fucking end of the navy tree? Paradox! You are literally trolling. Good bit, Paradox. Thank you. 3.8 million Germans for 180k Soviets. 900,000 Italians for 15,000 Soviets. I am glad I do not have to talk to the Axis leaders after what transpired on the Eastern Front. Then let's do Operation Countenance, and I shall also pressure the Afghan government to help me in countenance, because I really need the Iranian oil in order to deal with Germany, because I'm struggling so much. Alright, let's prepare for the invasion of the Imperial State of Iran by starting to build airports, truck supply, give you truck supply, and I'm gonna dump my CAS on this guy. It's just, you know, the last... Okay, there we go. Convoys, or a whole 18 oil in Iran, if they just buff their infrastructure to max. I'm gonna get the convoys. I have microed far enough. We're gonna get the lads on the front, and then we're gonna end it. Just wondering where I want to attack. Let's do something like this. Get to Bohemia, and then I'm gonna go for an encirclement. Just need the armored spearhead, and whatever's left with the special forces doctrine, and then we're good. Then we're finally online. Oh god. I doused believeth. That is it for you, Hitler. I mean, it's not over, but I just took your midget submarine. That's not a slur. Hitler's gonna win because he's gonna lag my PC out before I can finish the game. The only way he can win at this point. No, I wanted one pocket. I cleaned up the pocket before I could finish the pocket. 220k Soviets for 7 million Germans. Oh, Rome is also fallen. Okay, I might have to hurry up. I need to get Italy after all. 1.4 million Italians, 7.8 million Germans. I'd say this was a success. I think 1 to 50 is fine. We can stop the fun that we've had. A couple Soviets will now die. But I think I've proven my point that we are... This push over here will deal more damage than the entire German army has done. When did I get these commandos? Not even 320k men! 320,000 Soviets died in this World War II. Why didn't Stalin just do this IRL? Is he fucking stupid? Maybe he's paranoid. I'd say that's a fair peace deal. They freed Libya. They got like Somalia and a part of West Germany. Hey, Belgium is still alive. I can get the Dutch East Indies into my faction. I have to end World War II. Something might... Maybe Bulgaria defeats us. Oh, I don't want Serbia. That's probably just gonna cause issues. I don't want the Soviet Union to collapse because I got southern Serbia. Playthrough overview. Highest casualties, 320... That actually does look quite high. If you like this video, why don't you watch this video of my son to find out how to make the perfect HoI4 division?